I want to say one quick thing about last Tuesday's speech, that while it was relatively more calm and serious and mature than most of Trump's addresses to the public, it should be said that some of the policy content there was just as extreme and just as aggressive as we've seen in his less stable moments. Stable might be the wrong word, but in those moments. So, for example, in that speech, he announced the creation of an office dedicated to publicizing crimes committed by undocumented immigrants, which has two problems. The first, that it presumes that undocumented immigrants are responsible for some huge number of crimes, and the second is that it is stigmatizing. It contributes to an atmosphere where people are doing harm to immigrants, and Trump's tone shouldn't distract from that.
Ed, I want to ask you quickly about the president or the White House had a little feint towards immigration reform. The day of the speech, there was a little notion that the president might support permanent legal status, have a job, pay your taxes, you won't have to worry about getting deported. What did you make of that?
Twice in February, he had private lunches with people where he raised this issue. Repeatedly in public, he hasn't brought it up. So one wonders really, what is his stated goal here? You know, all he really talked about was that immigration victims, crime victims office, which is not going to be a very busy office, frankly, because there are isolated and very high-profile examples of this, but it's not widespread. What is widespread and what's causing a lot of trouble and concern for people right now is the really uneven enforcement of the immigration laws. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus, to their credit, has done a good job tracking this. And, you know, the examples of, you know, a 22-year-old who was arrested by ICE after speaking out at a press conference about them is being sent back to Mexico. A mother who was checking in with ICE for years being sent back to Mexico for the same reason.
In other words, it's not just the bad
and it's happening
dudes,
all over the country. It's not the bad hombres. Right. These are good hombres in many cases. No criminal record at all. And the confusion that this is causing with very little congressional oversight, while the president's talking about the idea of doing it and people are waiting for him to signal what they want to do, is just incredible and causing great confusion.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks to all of you, and we'll be back in a moment.